On today's video, we're going to go over the science of change. We will dive deep into quantum physics, Newtonian physics, and the science of light. Stay tuned. We are all interconnected. Everyone and everything in this universe is. This may sound like hippie talk to you, but there is more and more scientific evidence arising every day that validates this belief. On one hand, you have those that feel they need to have evidence to believe something. They feel they need to see, hear, touch, smell, or taste something before it truly exists in their minds. On the other hand, you have people like me who believe that just because you cannot see, hear, touch, smell, or taste something with your senses does not mean that it does not exist. It was the great Albert Einstein who came with the famous law of the universe, E equals mc squared. Energy equals mass times the speed of light squared. This equation showed us that it is not energy that is created from matter, but it is matter that is created from energy. Another well-known genius, Nikola Tesla, was quoted as saying, "If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration." The universe is made up of energy. However, the majority of humankind fails to see the world from this viewpoint. This is due to years and years of conditioning through schooling and culture. In school, we were taught the principles of classical mechanics only, also known as Newtonian physics. Classic mechanics is the study of motion in accordance with the general principles first expressed by Sir Isaac Newton in 1687. Classical mechanics was the first branch of physics to be discovered and became the foundation upon which all other branches of physics are built. In his opinion, Newton broke down the basic principles of mechanics to 3 laws. Number 1, everybody continues in its state of rest or uniform motion in a straight line unless compelled to change the state by forces oppressed upon it. Number 2, the change in motion of an object is proportional to the force oppressed upon it and is made in the direction of the straight line in which the force that is oppressed. And number 3, for every action there is always an equal and opposite reaction. Newton was great for helping the scientific understanding and the foundation of the cause of the laws cause and effect. We are finding out that the universe is much more complex than only cause and effect upon the discovery of quantum mechanics. What is quantum? The word quantum comes from a Latin word meaning quantity. Quantum mechanics is the research of how subatomic particles in the universe exchange energy and information. Newtonian physics is very predictable through cause and effect, whereas quantum physics is intrinsically predictable and unpredictable at the same time. Physicists began to study the smaller aspects of the atom, such as what makes up the nucleus, and the closer they looked, the more confused they became. Atoms appear to be 99.99999% empty space. However, that space is not truly empty space, it's actually filled with energy. When it comes to understanding how the universe behaves, look at one of the most basic elements of the universe, light. For the sake of time, I'm only going to dive deeply into wave-particle duality and the double slit experiment which explain light. So understand that deep pain, agony, and confusion in science was created when the question arose, is light a particle or is it a wave? The truth is that it acts as both a particle and wave, because light isn't just a wave, it's also a particle called a photon. Light travels as photons, and the photons can act both as wave or particles. In 1801, Thomas Young designed an experiment where light passed through a physical plane with two slits in it, eventually touching a screen behind it. The diffraction patterns that were created clearly assisted the wave model theory of light. However, in 1905, Albert Einstein solved the photoelectric effect by showing that light is made up of particles. Later, a modern version of the double slit experiment was performed. This experiment showed that through the radiation of electrons, that the electron manifests in both diffraction and interference patterns like light. Long story short, it is not just light and electrons that act as both particle and a wave. It's also electrons, neutrons, and almost everything else in the known universe. I understand this can be confusing, but you may ask yourself, how is this relevant to the health of the brain and the body? Well, scientists and researchers alike have becoming more and more comfortable with the study of quantum biology. Genetics has been until recently based upon Newtonian science. This has created a problem that the body is mechanical and can only be influenced on a mechanical level through matter changing matter. However, pioneers such as Conrad Haggington and Bruce Lipton have introduced to the world the study of epigenetics. Epigenetics is the study of how your behaviors and environment around you can cause changes that affects how your genes work. Essentially, it is the study of how cells control gene activity without changing the underlying DNA sequence that we have from our ancestors. Combine a little quantum physics with a little quantum biology, mix it with a little epigenetics, and you have proof that we are truly the masters of our own destinies. Short story, the science of neuroplasticity, quantum physics, and epigenetics are amazing, so apply it to your life. Thank you so much for tuning into my video, and if you could do me a huge favor and smash that like button, like, comment, or subscribe. That way the algorithm can show this video to more people like yourself. I appreciate you all. Much love.